Looks like someone figured out how to make an RTR. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look, maybe a run, and the review of the new Phoenix RTR from Vanquish Products. And here it is right here on the bench as we live and breathe. Now, there's a lot of things that are going to be familiar about this, but the biggest difference is that Vanquish is now offering a ready-to-run truck. Yes, not something I ever thought I would see from Vanquish Products, but here it is. It's an RTR. This is a ready-to-run truck. Add your own batteries, and you are off to the races. This is a pretty compelling choice, and it's something that I know Vanquish has been trying to do for a little while, and I'm really glad to see them doing this, and this really does, I think, change the game for them. It adds a level of complexity, it adds a level of responsibility as a manufacturer, and it also makes it a lot easier for the consumer to start consuming Vanquish products. Now, the reason I say that, there's a few things in there that I think need some clarification, and the first one is that this truck is not something I was ever expecting to see, and it's because adding ready-to-run trucks and adding all of those electronics from the factory adds a lot of responsibility on Vanquish to start tech support, and that's something that I think is going to be the biggest thing that they're going to have to start doing. Is you offer a truck that's ready to run, you have to support that truck too. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Since this is an RTR, we're not going to cover all of the basics. I've done that twice now because there is the straight axle Phoenix and the portal Phoenix before it. I will link to those videos right up here. In order to keep costs down, Vanquish had to cut something somewhere, and I understand that. It makes sense. And this truck is exactly what I set up my straight axle Phoenix to be. And I should mention, this is the straight axle version of the Phoenix. It's not a portal truck, which is great because portals are like training wheels. Let's talk about what you get, and then we'll talk about what you don't get. It is a full functioning Phoenix, so you get the VFD twin transmission. You get a 200-ounce steering servo with a 25-tooth spline. You get a Vanquish branded Hobbywing 1060. And you do get a brushed 35-turn motor. So you're getting everything you need. Oh, where's the radio? I have lost the radio. I will find the radio. You do get a radio. This is a nice 2.4 gigahertz, one-hand drive, digital with a display. Let's turn that on so you can see that. A backlit display. It's got lights on it. That's pretty neat. This is a 4-channel radio. So if you wanted to operate all of the servos on a Phoenix, you can do that from this radio. But we'll get into that in a little bit. With this RTR, you also get Vanquish's new Falcon licensed tires. These are the 465 height tire. Great foam. I actually really like these tires straight out of the box with the included foams. They work great. This is the functional beadlock with metal rings that you got with every Phoenix kit. So they do manage to mount these at the factory, so you don't have to deal with it. You do get the Phoenix body. You also get the rear cage. You get S8E shocks already built from the factory. You get stainless links. You get the straight axle version. These are the F10s straight axle edition. You get inner fenders. You get a lot of stuff for your money on this truck, and it's really, really compelling. Now, what don't you get? Well, you don't get an interior. You do not get the side panels on the rear. You just get an exposed cage. And you do not get servos for the shifting mechanisms in the VFD twins. So you do not get the ability to shift your overdrive or dig from the factory. It is RTR, but those two features are locked out. And that's really all that they've limited. Everything else is exactly as you would expect from the Vanquish Phoenix straight axle kit. Let's take a look under the hood. We'll get the body off here. It's the same body, everything is the same. Like I said, just missing the interior and the side panels. You do get all of the plastic bits. Where are those? You get a ton of spare parts, including some spare drive shaft bits, the rear light buckets. So if you wanted to add the buckets on the back here, you can do that. There's a bunch of interior parts, including the wipers. And that's really nice to see. I didn't know that those were going to be included. That's cool. There's also a bunch of different widths on the back spacing for the beadlock wheels. So if you wanted to change your track width, you can. Also some other bits to kind of dress those up a little bit too. There's also some replacement parts for the transmission and a pretty nice selection of other spare parts, including, where are those other bits? You do also get all of the links you'll require for the VFD Twin if you want to upgrade to shifting from overdrive and dig. So really nice to see that they include all of those things. That's not stuff they had to include. They could have just made those option parts, so it's really nice to see that. Pull the pin from the front here just as you normally would. The two body clips at the back, and the whole body lifts right off. It is substantially lighter because there is no interior, so it may perform a little bit better than a stock straight axle kit. All right, so like we said, VFD Twin, you can see those are both locked in their respective positions. So dig is locked out and you're stuck in 6.5%. You can undo that pin right there and make it 49% overdrive if you really want to. So while it doesn't shift on the fly, you do still have the option of using it. All right, and there you see the Hobby Wing Vanquish branded VE1 1060 ESC. There is a XT60 plug on that. And up front, we've got our 200-ounce servo with a 25-tooth spline, so you'll be able to use a Vanquish horn. There is one included, a nice metal Vanquish horn. It's pot metal. It's not one of their machined ones, but great to see that's included. Straight axles, like I said, and underneath, a little bit harder to see because of the way the VFD is set up, but there is a 35-turn brushed motor in there as well. It's got your magnets to add resistance, and there's your receiver, the VR1, matched to the radio right there. So it's all set up and ready to go, and it does roll very smoothly. I forget sometimes how nice a brushed motor can be, and this is a really nice setup. It's a great way to get yourself into the Vanquish ecosphere. The barrier, of course, before was always price on the kits, and now for not much more, you're getting a very great starter truck. This is really, in my opinion, right now, the best truck on the market, and it has been for a long time. Nothing has been able to supersede my opinion of the Vanquish kits. Now we've got an RTR with pretty nice but basic electronics that are going to get you started. And the fact that they include the Falcons now instead of that really crappy tire, much better. Much, much better. I think one of the biggest arguments for an RTR, and you know, I'm always a fan of building. That's where my joy seems to lie. There is a benefit, though, to the RTR, especially if you're looking to get someone new into the hobby and they don't want to make a big investment on their own electronics. This is a great way to get started. And the fact that you don't have to change out the radio system, that's a huge plus. To be able to use the radio that comes with the RTR and upgrade later on to use all the extra features that the VFD Twin offers and still use the same radio is pretty fantastic. And this is a great radio. I'm really impressed. Like, most RTR radios are a bit dodgy, or they're too big and you can't use them one-handed, or they don't have the same sort of premium feel as some of the aftermarket radios. This one feels great. It really, really does. Tons of adjustability in there too. Vanquish also includes an excellent manual. In this manual is a full breakdown of the instructions on how to build the truck, so if you ever do need to replace something, they've got you covered there. It's pretty fantastic. They also include a pretty reasonable sticker sheet so you can customize the truck to your liking, and a really nice instruction manual for the new radio that you're getting. And there is a lot of features built into this radio, and a ton of adjustability, as you can see through the model selection map, if you will. All right, so there you go. That's a pretty good rundown. It comes in this really nice red as well as a nice gray color. I prefer, I think, the gray over the red, but this will pop really nicely in video. Speaking of, we should probably get it outside and see how it does. So why don't we cut to some of that footage now?
All right, here we are again, outdoors, in the middle of winter, and it's not that bad today. It's pretty nice. I don't even have gloves on. The ice is melting, which is, you know, not expected for this time of year, but here we are with the new Phoenix ready to run. And I have to say, because it's a Phoenix, it's already a really great truck. But what Vanquish has done they've gone ahead and added better stuff than you would typically find in an RTR. Like in most cases, what ends up happening is with a ready-to-run truck, manufacturer kind of cuts corners, finds a way to still build in a good, healthy profit margin, and that's fine. You know, companies are allowed to make money. That's the whole deal. But there's not really much not here. And I think that's what sort of sets the Vanquish ready-to-run Phoenix apart from some of the other RTRs on the market. You still get a great set of tires. Better than the ones you get in the kit, actually. You still get the body. Yeah, it's missing a couple panels. You don't get the interior, of course, you're missing that. But you're getting a good quality set of electronics. It's a rebranded Hobbywing 1060. You get a nice 200-ounce servo and a darn good radio. So you don't really lose any capability. In fact, you probably gain a little bit because there's not as much weight on the body with the interior, dashboard, plastic bits, and rear panels. So, you know, you do gain a little bit of performance. Steering throw is the same. It's not, obviously it's a ready-to-run servo, so it's not the best in the whole world, but 200 inches of torque, certainly enough to get you started. Nice, strong 35-turn brushed motor, which works fantastically well. And all the great rock crawling capability that you would expect from Vanquish. You know what, let's find something a little more challenging other than just driving around on some mud. Speaking of, great turning radius there. You still get the VFD twin, so you still get all of the features of that really great transmission. And, you know, it's not the quietest transmission in the whole world, but it certainly is pretty darn good. Let's go down here. Great drag brake, just like you would expect. All adjustable, like on any Hobbywing. And pair that with this great radio. Hopefully we don't break through this ice. Pair that with a great radio, and you've got a really good, compelling reason to get a Vanquish product if you don't have one already. These tires, these are the new Falcon Wild Peaks in the 4.65 inch tall. They work really, really well. Clear out nicely too. Whoa. That was a deep bit. Can we get over this, do you think? Yes, obviously. Now, I have to get across there. There we go. So yeah, not much new or different to report here. Just a great, solid kit that's been assembled by somebody else. And assembled quite well, I might add, too. So, yeah, I would say that if you are new, you're looking to get in to this hobby, and you're looking to start with one of the best on the market, you really can't go wrong with the RTR. Great steering radius, great transmission, great adjustability. If you decide that you want to add that overdrive, or you want to add that dig, pop in 2 servos, and they don't have to be really super high quality servos. They can be just sort of a standard, even Amazon brand servo, and you're off to the races. You've got a fully functioning VFD twin transmission. And look at this thing, it just crawls over the rocks, no problem. Oh, we're hung up because it is the straight axle version, but I bet you we can get out of that. Yes, of course. There we go, yeah. We're rock crawling. And that servo's keeping up, which is great to see. I'm really quite pleased with that. This truck really is sort of like the Swiss Army knife. Fantastic. Lots of low-end control. That 1060 does a good job, I have to say. I've got no complaints, I really don't. This truck just kind of goes where you point it. Very predictable, great balance, great set of features, and a pretty reasonable RTR price, I'm gonna say. Good job, Vanquish. And I like it not just because my sticker is on the box. I like it because it's a great quality product from Vanquish Products. Oh, we're carrying some sticks. Let's get rid of those sticks. Let's get rid of those sticks before they cause a problem. Certainly a great day to be out and enjoy this fine hobby, and that's what it's really all about at the end of the day, isn't it?
I think it was really smart of Vanquish to start offering a ready-to-run truck. It just makes sense. In this market, as sad as this may be, there are not as many people out there who like to build as much as I like to build. It's just the nature of how this industry is going, unfortunately, and if this means that they're going to sell more Phoenixes, then that's great. Get them out there. Get people into this hobby any way you can, and if it means making an RTR that appeals to a larger market, awesome. That's great news. And my thanks, of course, to Vanquish for sending this my way. Is a Phoenix now on your radar now that there's an RTR? let me know down in the comments. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video, you like seeing reviews of trucks that are ready to run, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. I think that's going to do it. My thanks again to Vanquish. I really appreciate everybody watching and hope you're having a great, healthy, happy 2023. We'll see you again soon.